You ever have those quiet moments when everything slows down? No noise, no distractions, just you and your thoughts. And in that silence, a question hits you harder than anything else. Why am I not there yet? You feel it deep in your chest. Because this isn't just about success. It's not just about money, status, or recognition. It's about a promise you made to yourself that one day you would be better, stronger, more disciplined, more focused. That one day you would rise above the excuses, the delays, the setbacks, and become the person you see in your mind. But right now, you're not there. And that truth is uncomfortable because you can see the vision so clearly, but your reality doesn't match it. You thought you'd be further by now. You thought you'd be more consistent. You thought you'd have it figured out. But instead, there are days you procrastinate, days you doubt yourself, days you question if you even have what it takes. And slowly, frustration starts to build. But listen carefully, this moment right here. This is where everything changes. Because most people run from this feeling. They distract themselves. They lower their goals. They settle. But you're still here, still thinking, still searching, still wanting more. And that means something. It means there's a fire inside you that hasn't gone out. It means you haven't given up on yourself. So say it out loud if you have to. I'm not there yet. Not as an excuse, but as a declaration. Because hidden inside those words is power. I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way. I'm not there yet, but I refuse to stay the same. I'm not there yet, but I am becoming. That's the difference. You're not stuck. You're in progress. And progress is messy. It's slow. It's uncomfortable, but it's real. So don't let this moment break you. Let it build you. Because this is not your failure story. This is the beginning of your transformation. Let me tell you something most people will never admit. The hardest battles you will ever fight will happen inside your own mind, not in front of people, not where anyone can see, but in silence. It's the battle between who you are and who you're trying to become. Because every single day you wake up with a choice. Stay comfortable or grow, stay the same or evolve. And that choice, it sounds simple, but it's not. Because comfort is seductive. Comfort tells you, rest a little longer, start tomorrow. You deserve a break. And before you know it, days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and you're still in the same place. That's the invisible battle. No one sees it. No one claps for the moments you choose discipline. No one celebrates the times you say no to distractions. No one notices when you fight the urge to quit. But those moments, they matter more than anything, because that's where your identity is being shaped, not in the big wins, not in the spotlight, but in the small, quiet decisions no one else knows about. Let's be real. There are days you don't feel like doing anything, days when your energy is low, your motivation's gone, your confidence is shaky. And in those moments, the easy thing is to give in, to scroll, to procrastinate, to delay your growth. But the hard thing, the champion's choice, is to move anyway, to show up anyway, to take one step forward, even when you don't feel ready. Because here's the truth. You don't become a champion by doing what's easy. You become a champion by doing what's necessary. Even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's boring, even when nobody is watching. So the next time you feel that internal struggle, recognize it. That's not weakness. That's the process. That's the moment where you either stay the same or step into who you're meant to be. At some point, something has to shift. Not your environment, not your circumstances. You. Because waiting will keep you stuck forever. Waiting to feel ready. Waiting for the perfect time. Waiting for motivation to show up. It's a trap. And most people never escape it. But champions, they make a decision. A real decision, not the kind you say once and forget, not the kind that depends on how you feel, but a decision that becomes part of your identity. A line you draw in your life where you say, enough is enough, enough excuses, enough inconsistency, enough starting and stopping. And in that moment, You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop asking, do I feel like it today? And you start saying, this is who I am now. I am disciplined. I am focused. I am committed. Even if it's not fully true yet, you act like it is. Because identity drives action, and action creates results. Think about it. If you see yourself as someone who quits, you'll quit. If you see yourself as someone who procrastinates, you'll delay. But if you start seeing yourself as someone who shows up no matter what, everything changes. You move differently. You think differently. You respond differently. And slowly, your life begins to reflect that new identity. This is the shift most people miss. They try to change their results without changing who they are. But it doesn't work like that. You don't get disciplined and then become a champion. You decide you are becoming a champion, and then you act accordingly. So make the decision right here, right now, not tomorrow, not next week, today, because you're not there yet. But the moment you decide who you are becoming, that's the moment everything starts to change. Let's tell the truth most people avoid. You don't need more motivation. You need discipline. Because motivation, it comes and goes. One day you feel unstoppable. The next day, you feel nothing. And if your progress depends on how you feel, you'll never stay consistent. That's why discipline is your edge. Discipline is what carries you on the days you don't feel like showing up. It's what keeps you moving when your energy is low. It's what forces you to execute when your mind is full of excuses. And let's be honest, excuses are always available. I'm tired. I'll start tomorrow. I just need a break. It sounds harmless, but those small excuses, they stack up. And over time, they build a life you didn't choose. That's the danger, because every time you choose comfort over discipline, you are reinforcing a weaker version of yourself. But every time you choose discipline, you are building power, real power, the kind that doesn't depend on emotions, the kind that doesn't break under pressure. And here's the part nobody tells you. Discipline is not something you magically have. It's something you build, one decision at a time. Waking up when you said you would, doing the work when it's boring, finishing what you started over and over again. And at first, it feels hard. It feels unnatural. It feels like you're forcing yourself. But with time, it becomes part of you. It becomes your standard. And once discipline becomes your standard, everything changes. You stop negotiating with your feelings. You stop making excuses. You stop waiting for the right moment. You just act. So the next time you don't feel like doing the work, don't think, don't debate, move, because champions don't wait to feel ready. They train themselves to show up, no matter what. Failure, it's the word most people fear, the thing they avoid, the thing they run from. But what if I told you, failure is not your enemy, it's your teacher. Every champion you admire, they failed more times than you can count. But what makes them different is how they responded. See, most people fail once, and they stop. They take it personally. They let it define them. They convince themselves they're not good enough. But champions, they fail, and they learn. They ask questions. What went wrong? What can I improve? What will I do differently next time? And then they try again, stronger, smarter, better, because they understand something powerful. Failure is feedback. It's not telling you to stop. It's showing you how to grow. Think about it. Every mistake you make is a lesson. Every setback is a setup for improvement. Every loss is preparing you for a win you're not ready for yet, but only if you keep going. That's the key, because failure only becomes permanent when you quit. So, if you're in a season where things aren't working, if you've tried and failed, if you've fallen short of your own expectations, good. That means you're in the game. That means you're pushing your limits. That means you're growing. So don't run from failure. Don't fear it. Use it. Let it sharpen you. Let it teach you. Let it build you into someone stronger. Because you're not there yet. But every failure is taking you one step closer. Everyone wants the big moment, the breakthrough, the glow up, the overnight success. But what people don't see is what happens before that moment. The small wins, the quiet progress, the daily effort that nobody celebrates. That's where transformation really happens. Not in one big leap, but in tiny, consistent steps. Waking up 10 minutes earlier, finishing that one task you've been avoiding, choosing discipline one more time. It doesn't feel like much. In fact, it can feel insignificant, like it's not enough, like it's not making a difference. But it is, because small wins build momentum. And momentum changes everything. It gives you confidence. It builds belief. It creates progress. And once you have momentum, it becomes easier to keep going. But here's the trap. Most people ignore small wins. They only celebrate big results. So they feel like they're not progressing, even when they are. Don't fall into that trap. Start recognizing your growth. Start acknowledging your effort, because every small step matters. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you are changing. You may not see it immediately, but over time, those small wins stack up. And one day, you'll look back and realize you're not the same person anymore. That's transformation. Not sudden, not instant, but built one decision at a time. Here's something that can either build you or break you. Your environment, the people around you, the things you consume, the energy you allow into your life. It all matters more than you think, because whether you realize it or not, you are being influenced every day. If you're surrounded by negativity, it affects your mindset. If you're surrounded by people who don't take growth seriously, it affects your standards. If you constantly consume distractions, it affects your focus. And over time, that influence shapes your results. That's why champions are intentional. They protect their environment. They choose who they listen to. They choose what they watch. They choose what they focus on, because they understand something powerful. You can't build a strong mindset in a weak environment. So, if you're serious about becoming a champion, you have to make changes. Maybe it means spending less time with people who drain you. Maybe it means limiting distractions. Maybe it means feeding your mind with better content. It won't always be easy. Sometimes it will feel lonely. Sometimes people won't understand. But that's part of the process. Because growth requires separation. You can't stay in the same environment and expect a different life. So protect your energy, protect your focus, protect your vision, because you're not there yet. But your environment will either take you there or keep you exactly where you are. Let's be real. Everybody wants to be a champion. Everybody wants the results, the recognition, the success. But very few people are willing to pay the price, because greatness has a cost. And the cost is not money, it's sacrifice. It's the nights you stay focused while others are relaxing. The moments you say no when everyone else is saying yes. The discipline to choose long-term growth over short-term pleasure. And that's where most people fall off, because sacrifice feels uncomfortable. It feels like you're missing out. It feels like you're doing more than everyone else. It feels unfair sometimes. But that's the point. If it were easy, everyone would do it. If it required no sacrifice, everyone would be a champion. But they're not, because when it gets hard, when it gets lonely, when it demands more than they expected, they quit. But you're still here, and that means you have a choice. You can choose comfort, or you can choose growth. You can choose to blend in, or you can choose to stand out, because every level of your life will demand a new version of you, a more disciplined you, a more focused you, a more committed you, and you can't become that version without letting go of the old one. So, yes, it will cost you. It will cost you time. It will cost you energy. It will cost you comfort. But in return, it will give you a life most people only dream about. So ask yourself, are you willing to pay the price? Because you're not there yet. But greatness is waiting on the other side of your sacrifice. There will come a moment where everything in you wants to quit. A moment where you feel tired, frustrated, drained. A moment where it feels like nothing is working. You've been putting in effort. You've been trying. You've been pushing. But the results, they're not showing up. And that's when the thoughts start creeping in. Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I should just stop. This is the breaking point, the moment where most people walk away. Not because they couldn't succeed, but because they gave up too soon. Because what they didn't realize is that they were closer than they thought. See you, right before the breakthrough, there's always resistance. Doubt gets louder. Progress feels slower. Everything feels heavier. It's a test of your patience, a test of your commitment, a test of your belief. And in that moment, you have two choices: walk away and stay the same, or push through and become something more. Because this is where champions are separated from everyone else. Not at the beginning, but at the breaking point, when it's hard, when it's unclear, when it feels like quitting makes more sense than continuing. That's where they rise. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on commitment. They remind themselves why they started. They focus on the bigger picture. They take one more step, even when it hurts. And that one step, it changes everything. So, if you're at that point right now, if you feel like giving up, good, you're closer than you think. Don't stop here. This is not the end of your story. This is the moment that defines it. Take a moment and think about who you were. The version of you that doubted everything. The version of you that hesitated. The version of you that almost gave up. Now look at who you're becoming. Stronger, more disciplined, more aware. You're not perfect. You're still growing, still learning, still pushing, but you're not the same. And that matters, because becoming a champion is not about reaching a final destination. It's about transformation. It's about waking up every day and choosing to be better than you were yesterday. It's about showing up even when it's hard. It's about staying committed even when it's slow. It's about believing even when there's no evidence yet. And the truth is, you may not have everything you want yet. You may not be where you dreamed of being. But look at you. You didn't quit. You didn't settle. You didn't give up on yourself. And that's what champions do. They keep going, no matter what. So say it one more time. I'm not there yet. But this time, say it differently. Say it with confidence. Say it with belief. Say it knowing what it really means. I'm not there yet, but I'm stronger than I was. I'm closer than I was, and I will not stop until I get there. Because this journey, it's not easy, it's not fast, but it's worth it. And one day, all the discipline, all the sacrifice, all the pain, it will make sense. One day, you'll look back and realize you didn't just dream about becoming a champion, you became one. If this message spoke to you, don't just watch it, live it, because motivation fades. But action creates change. So start today. Start small. Start messy. But start. And if you're on this journey, type this in the comments. I'm becoming a champion. Because you're not alone. And your time is coming.